Hey, this is Kenny from Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And it's a really quick video. I'm going to do a comparison between three different vinyl LP versions of the legendary John Coltrane 1963 Ballads album. This is the 2024 UHQR version of the album. There's a 45 RPM version. Also, I'm doing comparing it with the Acoustic Sound Series, Verve Series version of record. Sorry for the glare from the camera. There's a 33 1/3 Verve Acoustic Sounds Series version of the record. And also have an earlier pressing of the record. This is not original pressing of the record. It is a I'll show you the label. I hope it's going to come out in the picture, but that's the label that I'm using. And I'm going to tell you what's etched in the dead wax. What's in the dead wax on this older pressing is AS32-A. That's etched in the dead wax on side 1. AS-32A. And AS-32B is etched on side 2. Also stamped on both sides is stereo and Van Gelder on both sides. Now this label, what it says on this label is a product of ABC Paramount Records Inc. Now I don't think this is an original pressing. I think it's might be a older repress. So I'm using that one as well. This is a fabulous album, a legendary album with, like I said, it was issued 1963 with John Coltrane on tenor sax, McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison bass, and the great Elvin Jones on drums. And before I get into this comparison, I would like to, for people who are new to my channel, tell you equipment I use in this comparison. My turntable is a Riga P8 turntable with an Feta 3 cartridge. It's a stereo cartridge. My phono stage is a West, that's WHEST 0.0 phono stage. My preamplifier is a Passlab X2 preamplifier, and my amplifier is a tube amplifier. It's a Balance Audio Technology VK60 tube amplifier. The speakers for this comparison are from a company called Kindle. They're old school speakers. You spell Kindle Kindel, and they are PLS-A speakers. And those speakers are pretty tall. They stand approximately 5 feet 8 inches off the floor. They're really tall speakers. I've had them, gosh, maybe since 2007 or so. They weigh a ton. Those suckers are heavy, very well made. They sound great. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But I also like to mention that during these comparisons, we have to keep in mind that results may vary depending on the equipment we use. For example, if you have a better phono preamp, maybe a better phono cartridge, better turntable, better amplifier, better speakers, you're going to get a different sound signature. So that's going to affect what you hear. So we have to keep that in mind. Also, we have different opinions in terms of what good music sounds like. We really do. I might like one version of a record because of the bass, or whatever. You might like the other version of a record because you dig the treble. So it depends. So they're very different intangibles of variables in terms of these comparisons, and our opinions may vary. Also, we might have different pressings of various records, so that can go into the equation as well. But I would like to say that I initially played my older version and listened to that one, and right after that I played this Acoustic Sounds Verve Series version of the record. By the way, this is a 33 1/3 record. I think this version of the record cost approximately, I think it was about $40. And my UHQR version is 150 plus shipping. And by the way, I should, before I get to the comparison, I'm going to quickly go through the contents of this box for the people who are interested of this UHQR set. This costs $150 plus shipping. Let me show you the contents real quick. And my older version, I probably bought at a thrift store probably like 30 years ago, probably longer, for like $1. But they have the records packaged outside of the cover, which is great. You know, audiophiles prefer and love that. I'll show you the cover and my number on the cover. This is the cover. Like I said, sorry for the glare from the camera. Show you the inside of the gatefold real quick. And I'll show you my number. My number is 910. Hopefully that's coming across the screen. Camera. And it also comes with this this really cool booklet. Very nice pictures in it. I'm gonna just show you a few of them. Of the pictures, really nice pictures of the group playing together. They really did a good job with this UHQR set. I'm a big fan of UHQR sets. I know a lot of people don't like them because they're pricey, but I do love these sets. And this is probably my favorite picture of the band. Really a great booklet. It also comes with a technical manual. Also comes with a you know, their advertisements for their other products, along with, there's some type of certificate inside. This is limited to 5,000 copies. So like I said, all in all, I love these UHQR sets, and this one is no exception. But like I said, I'm getting into the comparison. Like I said, I played this one first, the my older repress of the album, and with the information I gave earlier in this video, maybe somebody could tell me approximately when this this version of the record was issued. I guess I can go to Discogs and do the same thing myself. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But I played the original version of the record, and right after I played this Acoustic Sounds Verse Series version of the record. And what I noticed between the two of them, and I get to UHQR in a minute, the older version of the record had more bass detail. It was more warm. You know, it had this genuine, you know, warmth sound to the instruments and the tone. Whereas the Acoustic Sounds series version was more leaner, a little bit more treble intensive, and maybe a slightly more taken off the bass, just a little bit, not a lot. You can really discern the bass beautifully in the Acoustic Sound series version. But the Acoustic Sound series version, compared to my older copy, the instruments had more detail, more dimension, more depth. It's almost like, you know, throwing glitter up in the air and let it fall. The Acoustic Sound series version of the record, the glitter would hit the ground a lot slower than my older copy. It had more air to it, more dimension, more detail. Whereas the older copy, again, I like the warmth of it, but it was at the sacrifice. I like the warmth of it, but it was at the sacrifice of detail, just a little bit in my opinion. All three of these have something to offer, as I'm going to reveal later on in the video. Now the UHQR version, that's a different story. That's a totally different story. When I heard John Coltrane play, and I think it could have been the song Say It, I'm not sure, I forgot, but when I first heard him play on the UHQR, it was like dramatic. It's almost like he was in the room. It's almost the detail of his tenor sax, almost like he jumped through the speaker, and through his playing he said, "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm John Coltrane. Who are you?" I mean, this dude, like, I mean, I was like taken aback. I literally went like this when I heard him play this tenor sax on the UHQR. and it was a dramatic effect, an effect of vivid realism in terms of how dynamic his playing was on the UHQR. I will say this: John Coltrane is mainly in the left speaker, but you hear echo and ambiance going from the left speaker to the right a bit, almost like to the center of the soundstage, maybe a little bit beyond at some points because of the echo and delay. Elvin Jones is on the right speaker, and you hear echo and delay from his drums emanating from the right speaker through the left a little bit of the soundstage, whereas McCoy Tyner and Jimmy Garrison are more centrally located in the center of the soundstage. But I think that, in my opinion, UHQR takes the Acoustic Sound Series version of the record to a different level and dimension in realism and depth and echo and decay and three-dimensionality and genuineness, if that's a word, of the instruments, especially John Coltrane's tenor sax in the left portion of the soundstage. I think on this version, in my opinion, this is my opinion on my system, my speakers, my ears, the instrument and the player who benefits the most out of the four is John Coltrane's tenor sax, because it's more in the room and dynamic, where the playing of McCoy Tyner and Jimmy Garrison is a little bit laid back, their performances, where Coltrane's performance is a little bit more direct and dynamic and in your face. And in UHQR, it was like the UHQR was born to bring out the nuances and the detail of Brother John Coltrane's performance. I was really amazed by his performance. And like I said, the UHQR, this version of UHQR Ballads, I think it benefits John Coltrane more than any of the other three musicians, where I think A Love Supreme benefits Elvin Jones a little bit more. The detail of his drums and the way he plays and the dramatic, his dramatic style. I like his dramatic style during portions of Ballads. It's really, really fabulous. I think all three of these have something to offer. They really do. I like the bass and warmth of the older version. I think it has a little bit less detail, however, in terms of depth, dimension, soundstage, echo and decay, as the Acoustic Sound Series version. And the UHQR, I think the UHQR and Acoustic Sound Series versions, there's more detail to the stereo presentation, in my opinion. There's more detail, and you can discern the instruments a little bit better in a three-dimensional sound space, because the instruments, or because of the I think the higher treble level compared to the older version I have of the record. Because of that, I think you can hear the detail a little bit better. And this one apparently must have been remastered exceptionally well as well. I assume that is the difference between the UHQR and the Acoustic Sound Series, due to the 45 RPM speed and the vinyl variation. Those could be the factor that takes the UHQR to a different level. Here's what I have to say. If you are a John Coltrane purist, you love John Coltrane, you love Ballads as a record, and money's not an issue, I would opt for the UHQR. If money's not an issue, and if you really truly love this record. If you're more of like a casual fan of John Coltrane and you like the record, I would opt for the Acoustic Sound Series version of the record. Sorry for the glare. The Acoustic Sound Series version record, I would opt for this one. For the value, I think it's approximately $40, I think. The Acoustic Sound Series version is a fabulous value. I prefer the Acoustic Sound Series version over my older copy. Although all three of them have something to offer. The older copy, like I said, has this genuine old school warmth to it in terms of the play and the texture of the instruments. Whereas the Acoustic Sound Series version of the record, UHQR, is more detailed. It's more in your room. It's more of a realistic, in my opinion, more of a realistic presentation of jazz musicians playing together in this beautiful art form of jazz. Is just my personal opinion. So all three of them have something to offer. But this one I call the Great Equalizer. The Acoustic Sounds series version of the record. Here's the reason why. An original pressing of Ballads, old school original pressing, I get the impression is probably pretty pricey. So is the UHQR. UHQR is $150 plus shipping. So I call this one the Great Equalizer. The one in the middle, which I think is probably the middle ground, the best option for people who like John Coltrane and are fans of this record, but don't want to spend a lot of money. But if you're a serious, hardcore Coltrane fan, I would personally opt for the UHQR because I think this one sounds the best in terms of depth, dimension, sound, stage, and detail. And it's amazing UHQR version. I'm a fan of Ballads. It's a great record. I'm a bigger fan, however, of A Love Supreme. A Love Supreme, it's almost like John Coltrane. I mean, this brother had something to say in a Love Supreme. He's like said, it's almost like John Coltrane, said, check this out. I'm John Coltrane. Check this out. This is a masterpiece times 10. There's not too many. Well, there's some records, a lot of them that are transcendent. This is a transcendent record. I don't necessarily think of Ballads as a transcendent record. It's an amazing record. It's an example of jazz at its one of the most beautiful forms. Its beauty, its texture, its sound. That's Ballads. Whereas A Love Supreme is more dramatic, it has more punch, more drive. And I like the dramatic punch and drive of A Love Supreme. I really, really do. But like I said, all three versions have something to offer. If you like the warmth of an old school copy, get the old school original copy. Oh, by the way, if any of you have an original copy, please, and the UHQR, please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you just have the old school copy, original copy, please let us know how that sounds. But all three of them have something to offer. All three of them are winners in my book. Although if you want the best copy, I would opt for the UHQR. That's just my personal opinion. But please leave your comments in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. God bless. Strong love. Keep the peace worldwide.